Welcome to Calgary Conversations, a podcast of the City of Calgary where we aim to have frank conversations with city leaders about the issues and topics impacting Calgarians.
Please stand behind the yellow line.
My name is Jose Rodriguez. I am the leader of Media Relations and Employee Communications at the City, and I'm happy to be your host. Welcome back to Calgary Conversations, and today we've got one hail of a show for you. We're going to talk about those nasty storms that visit Calgary far too often. And to help guide us through that conversation, we have Stacey Rector, the leader of Climate Resilience and Adaptation here at the City of Calgary. Stacey, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Can you just explain what climate adaptation is and what you do?
Yeah, sure. We actually talk about both climate adaptation and climate resilience. So when we talk about climate adaptation, we're talking about the way we evaluate our climate risk and understand our hazards, and then integrate that into the way that we plan, build, and operate so that we're more prepared for extreme events or the changing climate when it comes. When we talk about resilience, it's more about how systems, so natural systems, community systems, built systems, how those systems respond when a climate event does occur and then recover afterwards. So it's really important for cities to have both. Adaptation and resilience really work together. It's about how we are preparing Calgarians and our communities for the changing climate to make sure that we're prepared when extreme events do happen.
And so when it comes to those sort of extreme events or risks that Calgarians face, what are the biggest ones?
There's actually 8 climate hazards of concern.
Whoa.
I know, it's a lot.
I thought we were talking about hail.
We are, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But before we get to hail, extreme heat, flooding, drought, wildfire smoke, intense precipitation, winter storms, shifting seasons, and then extreme storms. And that's when we start to think about hail.
Funny that I think we've experienced all of those in the past couple of years alone in some form or another. The smoke for sure.
Yeah, we have experienced them all and what projections tell us. So that is when we look forward at what we expect to anticipate in the future. All of those are going to become more frequent and more severe. Every
year, Calgary seems to face some form of hail event that happens. Can you maybe talk about what we can do to try to prepare for it? Because it seems to be happening more and more frequently.
Yeah, the most important thing we can do to prepare for it is to understand our insurance. What are you covered for in the event you do experience hail damage? That is the most important things that Calgarians can do this year. The second most important thing that we can do right away is sign up for emergency alerts. Hail often comes with big convective storms. So when you get that convective storm alert, that's when it's time to park your car under cover. If you have that option, move any patio furniture inside. I was actually talking to someone at a meeting earlier this week who said she's ready for hail season. She has her tent poles and her tarp underneath her patio. So when that alert comes in, she can cover her garden. So it's thinking about how to prepare when that alert comes in and what you can do. So those are the things that we can do right away. In the longer term, we know that there are more durable building materials. So for anyone who's thinking about renovation or new construction, it's important to think about more durable roofing, siding, maybe doors and windows as well.
Now you did touch on different parts of the city seem to get hit differently, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I have some friends out in the Northeast and they got schwacked pretty bad a couple years ago, to the point where insurance is almost a difficult thing to get for those folks. Mm-hmm. What can you say maybe about which neighborhoods are being affected more than others?
Yeah, it's a common assumption that the Northeast gets the biggest hailstorms, but actually all of Calgary is at risk. I've shared a map that shows hailstorms over the last 10 years in Calgary, and every single corner of Calgary has been hit at some point in time by damaging hail. I think the important thing to think about is it's not just geography, it's how we build, and it's our capacity to prepare and recover as well. So it's about more than just geography when we think about hail risk.
So about a year ago, the previous council approved a hail plan. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that's our hail resilience program. The Hail Resilience Program has 3 components to support Calgarians in improving their resilience to hail. The first piece is about data. So we're working on a mapping project to understand how hail is changing in the future. Are we going to get more hailstorms, and where is the size going to be changing? Is the season going to be changing? And information like that helps us make better decisions when we build. And it will also be made available to the public to inform their choices as well when they're thinking about home resilience. So that's the first piece. The second piece is we're working with partners to make improvements to the system. So when I say the system, I mean builders, roofers, insurers, the real estate industry, nonprofit organizations. We're getting together to identify opportunities to help Calgarians improve hail resilience across the whole system. And then the third component is what we call an equity analysis. And so we're looking to understand how different factors, like the homes we live in, our support network, our income, how those things influence our ability to prepare, withstand, and recover from hail events. And that helps us make informed decisions about how we support Calgarians.
So the city used to have some sort of roof rebate or hail roof program of some kind. Where's that at?
Yeah, after the 2020 hailstorm, which was one of the most expensive natural disasters in Calgary with over $1.2 billion in insured losses, it's a lot. The City of Calgary put forward a rebate program to help Calgarians recover from that storm. When we took a look at this storm to evaluate its effectiveness afterwards, what we realized was we didn't reach a lot of Calgarians with that program. There was a limited number of Calgarians we could support. And then the other thing we found was that the Calgarians that need it the most had trouble accessing the program in the way it was designed. That's why we've shifted focus, and now we're working with partners across the systems to really address the challenge from a systems perspective. So where are our opportunities to support Calgarians in improving their home hail resilience across the whole system so that our efforts go further, we can support more Calgarians, and it's a program that has longer lifespan and reach.
And those partners include the city, builders, industry.
Insurers, real estate. Yes, it's a very broad group of partners working together, because we all have reasons for improving hail resilience in Calgary. And the big driver is to make sure that it remains affordable for Calgarians to get insurance, that it's accessible, affordable, and available.
Nice. We all have skin in the game on that one, yeah.
We do.
Yeah, and it's so logical, right? You think about it, it's the city, it's experts, it's industry, it's all the folks who have a stake in this.
We all have a stake in it. Hail costs everybody. I don't know that everyone recognizes this, but with hail risk increasing across the whole city, almost everyone has seen an increase in insurance premiums, whether or not they've experienced a hailstorm. So we all have a vested interest in addressing hail resilience in Calgary.
How is it that your team works with building codes and things of that nature that would dictate how things are built?
Building code is provincial jurisdiction, so the province sets building code. Where we come into play is making sure Calgarians have the tools they need to understand their risk. And then programs like Climate Ready Home, Calgarians can understand based on the construction of their own home, what their risks are and what they might be able to do to reduce their vulnerability to hail.
Are there any practical steps homeowners or building owners can take short of the programs that you talked about? We
do have two programs that Calgarians can access. The first is the Get Ready program. So you can visit calgary.ca/Get Ready. And that is about preparing and recovering from hailstorms if they do happen. And then the second is the Climate Ready Home program. So the Climate Ready Home program is for all of our hazards, but there is a specific part on hail and high wind for choices that you can make during home renovation, during building, or even during home maintenance and operations activity to help improve your hail resilience at home.
So scary, right? When you think about the skies are darkening a little bit and all of a sudden half an hour later, you've got tens of thousands of dollars of damage. Mm-hmm. That just has to be crushing for homeowners who are facing that.
It has to be really hard. I know I've experienced it myself, and it takes a little bit of time to work through. After the 2024 storm, the system took a long time to recover. About 20% of insurance claims were still open a year later. So that means people are having other impacts as well, right? Their potential for water damage in their home if they haven't been able to repair, potentially missing work to deal with this. There are impacts to our economy and also to our other systems. When you think about the manufacturers and the pressure on them when a storm like that happens, or industries like the roofing industry, where there's a big uptick in business, it really strains those systems.
Looking ahead, how is the city working to make us more climate resilient, climate adaptable?
So it's important to know it's not just our team working on climate resilience. Climate will cost us. All of these hazards are more frequent, where they're getting more extreme, and they're costing lots of money in terms of the way we build, in terms of damage, and even in terms of operating costs, if we think about energy maintenance and repair. It's a well-researched topic that for every dollar we invest in climate adaptation, it pays out $6 to $15 in terms of avoided damages and reduced recovery costs, along with maintained service delivery. So we're working all across the corporation on climate adaptation. It touches every part of what we do here at the City of Calgary. We do have a council that's recognizing that these risks are a financial risk to the corporation, to Calgarians and our city and businesses. And we are investing in lots of places across the city. A good example would be flood. We know that about $1 billion has been invested across 3 levels of government in flood resilience, and that we've seen a 70% reduction in damage risk. So that will pay out the next time we experience.
It's been such a focus for the city, right? Because anybody who was around here in 2013, they don't want to see that happen again.
No one wants to see that happen.
What kind of uptake are you getting from industry and other interested parties?
We have had great participation in the Hail Resilience Improvement Network. I think maybe more than we expected. People care about this. People want to see their own businesses thrive. And we all want to make sure that insurance remains affordable and available to Calgarians. If you think about the insurance industry, it's a risk-based industry. It's not meant for something that's known to happen. It's meant for something that might happen. So everyone in this system around hail is really interested in improving resilience across the city.
You mentioned insurance being a factor. There have been some news stories about folks still waiting to get the insurance and stuff like that. What do you tell those folks who just are frustrated with the process of a home they built that all of a sudden has windows broken, siding broken apart, the roof is messed up? What should they do? What can they do?
You know, that's really tough, but I think the most important thing they can do is not build back the same. So when they're working with their insurer, try and find opportunities, if you can afford it, to build back a little bit better. So can you get a better quality roofing material that can help prevent damage in future storms? Are there alternatives to siding that might work for you? That's the most important piece of advice I would give to someone who's experienced a hailstorm, because you don't want to build back the same and keep those vulnerabilities in your home that kind of expose you to damage if another storm occurs. We have information on our website, calgary.ca/climate-ready-home. There is a home evaluation tool, so you can put in the particular characteristics of your home, and it gives you recommendations on how to make you more resilient to all the climate hazards in Calgary, not just hail. And there's a virtual home, and so you can do a tour of a virtual home and build your understanding of how the different choices we make in home construction impact your risk to climate hazards.
And I guess the message to many Calgarians is the home is likely the biggest investment of your life. You should maybe take extra care to try to stop it from being at as much risk when these hailstorms happen.
It's a great comment. It's important that we are doing what we can to protect our homes and our investments. And that pays out not just in reduced damage, but hopefully reduced insurance claims, reduced operating and maintenance costs as well.
Oh, well, Stacey, thank you so much for spending some time with me. It really is fascinating. Is there anything I forgot to ask or anything you'd like to add?
I would just like to remind Calgarians that we're coming up to hail season. It's a great time to call your insurer and understand what you are covered for in the event you do experience hail damage. Download that app so you're getting an emergency alert when a storm is coming. Think through how you're going to prepare your property when that alert does come through. And then check out calgary.ca/climate ready home and go through the recommendations in either the virtual home or in one of the handouts to understand what you can do to improve the resilience of your home to not just hail, but all the climate hazards that we're facing in Calgary.
Some important and timely advice.
Thank you for joining us today. As always, we value your feedback, so please reach out to us at calgaryconversations@calgary.ca and tell us what topics you'd like covered and questions you'd like answered. Until next time, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, and if you see someone without a smile today, give them yours. Take care.